Sweet mini bong, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the Siege TV series, the Netflix War for Cybertron TV series, Series 1. And today we're going to focus and shine a spotlight on the voice acting. So before we get low down and dirty on this, obviously here guys, there's going to be spoilers. There's no way that I'm going to be able to talk about this without spoilers for the actual show itself. If you want to see my non-spoiler review, that should be appearing somewhere on the screen. somewhere. So please give that a click. It's a non-spoiler review, so you can go and check that. Here we're probably going to dip into spoilers or semi-spoilers almost from the get-go, so you have been warned before we jump right in. First off, I want to say overall my take on the voice acting is it's okay. It's good. If this was like a seesaw in the park with good on one side and the bad on the other side, then for me it would probably be just an even seesaw. Nobody would really be going up or down. It would just be on the level. There's good ones, there's bad ones, but everything in this show seems quite bogged down by odd dramatic pauses. Wow, the dramatic pauses in this, especially with one character who is a lead character, really kind of bog everything down a little bit. For me, when the voice acting is good, it's really good, and there are some standout performances, but then we have a large group of mediocre and some god-awful ones as well. So yeah, so we're going to really focus here though on ones that I see as really good and really bad. So we're not going to talk about absolutely everyone. So some of the background characters like Cog and even RC and people like that, I'm just not going to touch on them. They were mediocre performances. Background, even my favourites, Flywheels, Skytread, even one of my favourite characters, I'm not going to touch on them really, because again, they're really kind of background mediocre voice characters. Let's kick it off though with one of the best characters in the show when it comes to voice acting. For me, Wheeljack, and this also is actually where the show starts itself. Gotta say, I'll touch more on this on the story video. Love the fact that the first scene on this is Bee and Wheeljack, exactly like in the G1 cartoon, and then they get attacked by the Seekers. Awesome, well done, some nice nostalgia throwbacks there. But for me, Wheeljack's performance is spot on from a kind of G1-ish point of view, I guess, but you know, it's absolutely fantastic. And I'm by no means saying that Wheeljack always has to sound like he's from G1, but it's a nice touch here, especially with the flashy lights that go in time, almost in time with his voice. Bill Rogers does a fantastic job here, and I really hope to see him in the future doing Wheeljack's voices in the future, because it's really good. So something else that I'll touch on here, just because they're in this kind of scene together and he is a main character in the series, is Bumblebee's voice. I'm kind of agnostic on this one. It was okay, and it suited this version of Bumblebee. It felt a little flat in places, but hey, at least he had a voice in this. I'm glad that Bumblebee actually has a voice rather than him damaging his voice. Please don't take his voice box away. And I guess it's a little bit odd because he is just a little bit flat in this. He doesn't really want to fight. He's almost like a Mirage type character from G1 that doesn't really want to fight, doesn't really want to get involved. Yeah, it's okay. His voice suits this version of Bumblebee, I'll say. Okay, now let's talk Optimus Prime. 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 Jack Fauci, who plays Prime in this series, he's actually played Prime in other TV series, and I guess I need to go and check these out to see if it's that bad and that sketchy and patchy in the other ones, because here it's really not good. And if he has delivered Optimus Prime like this in other versions of Transformers I've not picked up on, and I'm really surprised he got called back for this. Some lines are delivered okay, but he has really odd pauses in them. And actually, I've rewatched this now about 4 or 5 times. He's the only character whose performance seems to get worse every single time I watch it, and I know that can't happen because it's not changing, but it really does. This performance to me it falls down whenever he needs to inject passion, whenever everything else is climbing, and then he'll deliver a line, you're like, oh. I don't know if they've had to turn the sound down, but there's something that really falls flat when he has to deliver any kind of passion. I'm really surprised that his performance in this actually made it past QC, especially seeing as he is a main character. And this really falls down because a lot of his scenes are next to Jason Maricona's Megatron, and wow, this is a flawless version of Megatron. The animator's definitely effed up on his lips, but what comes out of them lips is absolutely top notch. This is not a screaming maniacal Megatron. This is one that's played more methodical, calculating, even mournful of some of the decisions that he has to make during these 6 episodes. I love this take on Megatron. He is almost like somebody who was a visionary that took the wrong path. This is something that I really hope that they delve into. I'm really looking forward to his take on Megatron going forward, and it's just beautiful. Now let's stay on the Decepticon side and let's talk about Soundwave. Soundwave's voice is so jarring the first time he spoke. He really sounds like a Cylon. If anybody here watches Battlestar Galactica, then they've just taken the noise effect from a Cylon. I don't know if it's too much effect, too little effect. It's not good at all. And actually, Sound Blaster, who actually is a separate character in this, his voice on the other hand is okay. I really wish they'd have done that voice for Soundwave, but yeah, Soundwave's voice is the only one that makes me recoil in horror every time they use it. And luckily he doesn't actually have that many lines in this. Hopefully he won't be a bigger character in Earthrise, or maybe he will get a voice change, but absolutely horrific. On the other hand, another great performance is Elita 1. Lindsay Rosie smashes this one out the park. You feel her frustration with the situation, and even with Prime at points, and this really works well. She shows all of her passion. This character has depth that Prime's voice actually lacks. And again, these two have a lot of screen time together, so her voice really stands head and shoulders while making Prime's voice look really bad. This is another great performance. I really look forward to seeing Elita 1 having even more screen time, hopefully in season 2, as it looks like the Autobots are now separated. Elita 1 may lead the Autobots on Earth, and then Prime will lead the ones that left on the Ark. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing her hopefully have more screen time and be able to deliver those lines even better, because she's absolutely fantastic. Well done. And then last but not least, my definite favourite of all of the voice acting in this is Starscream's. Starscream's voice in this absolutely fantastic. Frank Tadero slays this role. This is now his third time playing Screamer, and I think he's just such a great voice. He just absolutely nails this scheming, squirming, twisting, shit-stirring nature of this boss. And yeah, you know, there's a bit of nostalgia thrown in there from the G1 point of view, but he does take steps to kind of make this his own, and I think this is just an amazing take on Starscream. So Starscream, definitely my favourite voice in the entire TV series. Everything else, things like Jetfire, it's an okay voice. It's not too bad. A lot of people hating on the Shockwave voice, but you know, I quite liked the Shockwave voice in this. I thought it was okay. It kind of gave me that kind of scientist almost what's it called, scientist vibe there. With it, I quite liked it. I thought it was okay. It could have been a little bit more cold and calculating, maybe. A little bit more devoid of emotion or something, but yeah, it was okay. Ratchet's voices is okay. Like I say, there's a lot of them that are just bland and mediocre performances that just kind of fade into the background. So I've just focused here, guys, on the best voices that I can see and the worst voices that I can see in the show. Let me know your thoughts in the comments for this one though, guys. Are there any standout voices that I missed? I know I missed out on Impactors, but again, I think his voice acting is okay, but it's one of those ones that it's not that much of a memorable when I think about amazing voices from this. So guys, if you're new around here, give us a like, a share and a subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Alright guys, in a bit, peace.